Side of the Pilots, I'm Adam Lindman. After a stellar 2-year career on the Bluff, defender Chris Reeves is moving on to Major League Soccer after signing a homegrown contract with FC Dallas. The center back earned all-conference and all-region honors while with the Pilots, and he played a part in 13 career shutouts, which led the league during his time in the Rose City. Reeves came to Portland after starting his career at Wake Forest, and he's the 26th player coached by Nick Carlin-Voigt to play, get drafted, or sign with an MLS team. We'll have much more on Chris Reeves and his future as a pro later in the show. The MLS Super Draft will take place on Friday in Philadelphia, and Portland senior goalkeeper Paul Christensen hopes to hear his name called. Christensen recently took part in the MLS Player Combine in Orlando, which allowed teams to scout potential draft picks. Christensen was stellar during his career on the Bluff, where he was a 4-year starter. The 2-time West Coast Conference Goalkeeper of the Year leaves the program number 5 all-time in both saves and shutouts. The new women's soccer coaching staff is nearly complete as first-year head coach Michelle French has added a trio of assistant coaches. Dominique Doty, Maite Zabala, and volunteer assistant coach Rachel Rapino are the newest staff members. Doty was most recently the assistant head coach at San Jose State, and Zabala, who will primarily focus on the goalkeepers, comes to the Bluff from Boise State. She also had stints at San Francisco and Cal, her alma mater. Rapino is a Portland alum who was on the Pilots' 2005 National Championship team.
Still at an age where I have a player's mind a bit, so I feel that that connection piece to the players is one of my strengths. I've been around the game for a long time at high level, so I feel like I know the game well, being involved in some different programs, just an experience level that I can bring to the table and help out.
Not every goalkeeper is the same. Everyone's got a different skill set, so I've always believed in taking what works for you and molding it into your own, and so I've always encouraged goalkeepers to do that. Over my experience was really molded by having, 5 to 6 goalkeepers in my professional career and collegiate career. So I think that makes for someone who has to take pieces of what works with each coach's style, and I pride myself on giving goalkeepers the liberty to do that at the same time, showing them why I'm doing something I think is the way I work.
When I think of UP soccer, I think of pride and I think of community. So that's something that we want to continue to establish and instill in the players, is just the sense of pride for being a Portland Pilot, as well as the expansive Pilot community. Even though it's a small school, it packs a punch, and people who are pilots or who love Portland, we bleed purple for life. So I think that I didn't realize playing here how much pride I was going to have being an alumni. Now that I'm 10 years out, it means so much to be able to come back on this campus. Now, being able to come to the office every day, I just take such tremendous pride, and that's something I want to help instill in the players as well.
Last Saturday night at the Chow Center, it was a showdown of former Portland Trailblazer guards as Damon Stoudemire and his Pacific Tigers battled Terry Porter and the Pilots. Stoudemire and the Tigers came out on top, but Portland had another productive showing by its bench. Senior DeMarcus Tyson scored 14 off the bench, which included going 4 of 5 on 3-pointers. Freshman Marcus Shaver Jr. and Malcolm Porter added 12 points each, and the Pilot reserves outscored those from Pacific 38-15. The Pilots are on the road this week, but they return on Thursday, January 25th to host Gonzaga at the Chow Center. Single-game tickets for the battle with the Zags are still available, and you can find them by visiting the Pilot box office, calling or texting 503-943-GO-UP, or by going to portlandpilots.com/tickets. Students will need to pick up their tickets in advance by bringing their student ID to the Pilot box office inside the Chow Center. After a pair of road games last week, the Portland women's team returns to the Bluff to host San Diego and LMU. The Pilots are led by juniors Julie Spencer and Darian Slaga, who are both averaging more than 12 points per contest. Slaga currently ranks 3rd all-time at Portland with a career free throw percentage of 81.2. Thursday's game with the Toreros is set for 7 o'clock, while Saturday's contest with the Lions will begin at 2. Tickets are available for both games, as are group experience packages, so call or text 943-GO-UP to reserve your spot now. Saturday will also feature a post-game autograph zone. Well, we're just getting started on Portside of the Pilots, and when we come back, baseball head coach and UP Hall of Famer Jeff Loomis joins us for a chat. Welcome back. We're joined now by baseball's third-year head coach and Portland Athletics Hall of Famer Jeff Loomis. Skip, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Official start of the season is quickly approaching. It's just a week away. Let's start, though, by looking back at fall ball. How did the fall go for you guys?
Yeah, fall is really important for us. It's a chance to see our new guys. They come in from different high schools and junior college programs, summer programs, and so we get a chance to evaluate real quickly kind of where they're at on the spectrum. It's a chance for, I think more importantly, it's a chance for our guys to start getting used to one another, building that camaraderie, starting to build the culture.
And so you guys have a decent group of solid newcomers this year. Fall ball is your first chance to see them here on the Bluff. Who are some of the newcomers that stood out for you?
Yeah, it's 12 newcomers, so it's quite a few guys. And four of those guys are pitchers, 8 of those guys are position players. Real exciting group, and it's tough to pinpoint one of them because we've had some junior college guys come in. They're certainly going to have a chance to play right away. We fully expect in the program that the freshman guys come in and compete for positions right away as well. And so our expectations are high. Certainly we understand, though, that junior college guys are going to come in with some college playing experience, which is going to be different than the high school kid. But it's a really exciting class.
And so now fast forward to this season, first official day is only a week away. What are you hoping for, and what can you predict for the Pilots, not only during preseason, but into the regular season as well? Yeah,
I think in preseason in particular, the guys really put a lot of time in the fall, and they've put a lot of time in over winter break on their own. And in the preseason, we really want to just stay healthy, and that's one of the keys to getting off to a good start is making sure that you start off healthy. And so that's one of our things we really want to focus on is making sure our guys are healthy and feeling really good about the start of the season. The preseason is also a great opportunity for us to keep working on some of the things that we were working on in the fall. Once we get started in the season, there's not a lot of practice time. We really play, it feels like, every day. And so it's really important for us to have all of our systems in place, and really important for our guys to feel comfortable with the defensive stuff and the offensive scheme, and to really feel comfortable with one another. So that's really what preseason's about. And then, like I said, once we get to the season, we're not practicing a lot, and so we make adjustments on the fly sometimes throughout the season and make small adjustments, but we don't want to be making big adjustments throughout the season.
So I'm going through the program record books the other day, and your name is still all over the place. Talk about some of your memories as a player here, maybe some memories that stand out for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because the majority of my close friends, the guys that were in my wedding, the guys that I still stay really close with and in contact with all the time were the guys that I played baseball with here. So obviously my time here as a player and as a student had a big effect on my life. And my greatest memories of being a University of Portland Pilot baseball player was we were always competitive. Every year that I was here, I came here the year after they won a championship in '89. And then in '90, we were a really competitive team. '91, we won a championship again. And we were able to go represent, our conference in the West Regional at Fresno State. And I think back to those successful years, and I think back to that regional, and I think it was the first time that we'd ever won a regional game, a postseason game like that, when we beat San Diego State in the second round. And it added validity to what we were doing as a team. We had strong belief in one another. We really believed in what we were trying to do, and then we went down and played in a really tough regional and had some success there. And so, those are the kind of memories that, besides just the stuff about, how we were on campus and the fun times that we had, we have a lot of great memories in the baseball side of it too.
Finally, a lot of home games this year at Joe Etzel Field, especially in March. What can fans expect to see when they come out to watch the Pilots play this year?
Yeah, I mean, my focus right now is that we're going to be a better defensive team, and we've worked really hard on the recruiting side of things to get some depth there, and a lot of credit needs to go to Jake Valentine and Connor Lambert, who put a lot of time and effort into the recruiting, and they really grind on the recruiting trail, and Jake was able to put together a really good class this year. The first time we've ever had a class ranked in the top 100 in the country. So that's this 2017 class that are freshmen this year. We're really really excited about those guys, and I think it's going to show on the field. We're going to have better depth this year. I think we'll run too deep at each position. Our pitching staff is we've got great experience on the mound. We've thrown a lot of innings on the mound, so it's a senior-laden staff. So we expect that if we can play a little bit better defense this year, that it's going to show up in our team ERA. And so, first and foremost, team defense and pitching. That's what wins championships. On the offensive side, we've got good team speed this year, and so we're going to try to put some pressure on the defense.
Coach Loomis, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck this season.
Thanks for having me.
Up next, men's soccer senior Chris Reeves is moving on after recently signing with FC Dallas of Major League Soccer. We'll have that story after the break. In his 2 years on the Bluff since coming here from Wake Forest, center back Chris Reeves established himself as one of the best defenders in men's soccer program history. An all-conference and all-region selection while with the Pilots, Reeves now moves on to the next chapter of his life after signing a homegrown contract with FC Dallas of Major League Soccer.
Contact, Reeves stepping up, gets the tackle.
Dream come true. I definitely still have a lot of work that I have to do once I get there, kind of show and prove myself, but I'm really happy and excited to be headed back home to where I grew up.
I'm super excited for him. I think he'll be a great addition to their team and someone that could make an impact right away, potentially. And I think he works very hard at what he does. He enjoys it, and he loves soccer, and he's always having a good time. And he's a great guy, and I hope for the best for him, and someone I'll definitely stay in touch with, and excited for him.
Incredible opportunity for Chris Reeves to sign a first-team contract with FC Dallas, which is a storied MLS team. And as we know, it's never been harder to make the jump from college to the MLS. And I think full credit to Chris for the contributions he's made to the program. He acted like a pro the very first day he stepped into our locker room and into our program, and he left the program better than he found it. So we're very proud. He was a fantastic ambassador for the University of Portland men's soccer program.
I just wanted to come here to a place where it was pretty soccer specific and just kind of focus, put my head down in school and soccer. And then also you have the city here, which is a big soccer city with the Timbers. So I kind of got that FC Dallas feel where I was able to live and breathe soccer again. So it was really good.
As a coach building a program, you always want someone who's going to come in and want to give to the program rather than take. And Chris has absolutely given everything he's had to the jersey and to the locker room and to the brand. And for that, we're forever grateful because he really helped us rebuild the program and obviously win our first championship since 2002, get back to the NCAA tournament, have 2 really successful seasons here on the Bluff. And him being the captain for those 2 years, I don't know if we could have done it without him.
Can't elude Chris Reeves.
Chris Reeves, fantastic job. Chris Reeves sees the ball, he sees Ortiz.
Chris has been developing very well as well in the college game. I think Chris has developed something that we are pursuing in these times, not just our team, but I think the modern game is the flexibility that he has, the versatility that he has in the back, and just provide us too many opportunities to see a player who can just fulfill spots that we may need in a long journey, which is the year and the different competitions. So that versatility just highlight amongst many of the others that he has, as you know, on the game. We're happy with it.
We want to coach and recruit future pros, and that's been Chris's dream for a long time. He stayed in college for 4 years. He did it the right way. He's a fantastic soccer player. He can play many different positions. He can play as a right back. He can play as a center back. In our run in 2016, when we won the league, he played as a D-mid the last 3 games of the season, and he's very athletic. He's very easy to play with. He has great feet. He's a technician, and he constantly worked on his craft, was adding different elements to his game in terms of the physical attributes.
And finally, Chris Reeves settles it. Nice little touch there to create some space.
He's playing all over the place. We will look at him as a right back. We also know that Chris has not played in that position for a long time. So we're going to see how he work out in preseason and what position he can help us cover.
his pause and control with the ball. He was always ranked as one of our highest passers in the team. His passing completion rate was always near the top. But more than just the technical aspect, it was really the intangibles when you speak about Chris Reeves, his dedication to the program, his loyalty. He just entered the locker room with no ego, wasn't bossing anyone around. He led by example every single day. He brought his best, and that's what a true pro does, and Chris has a very bright future ahead in the game.
Definitely happy coming here. I got to see a lot and meet great people and have a bunch of good experiences that I wouldn't have had.
Time is going to run out on the Gales, and the Portland Pilots are the 2016 West Coast Conference champions.
Chris has a great family, and it's been really great getting to know his mom and his dad. Charmaine and Ken Reeves have done a wonderful job. The values that he had when he came to UP were extraordinary, and we are fortunate to be able to, I think, help him with the development of more leadership values, but really his mom and dad get a lot of credit for raising such a fine young man.
Fans, the next time you're at a Pilots home game, enter to win our Buy Mart fan photo contest. Each week, a new winner will be chosen right here on Portside, and the winner will receive a prize courtesy of Buy Mart. And then at the end of the Pilot basketball season, the weekly winners will be entered into a drawing for a grand prize, which are tickets to see the Miami Heat and UP alum Eric Spoelstra take on the Trailblazers at the Moda Center on March 12th. To enter the contest, simply pull out your cell phone and take a picture of yourself or your friends cheering on the Pilots at any home sporting event. Then post that photo to either Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook using the hashtag #PilotGameDay. And here is last week's winner. Congratulations, Samuel Hardy. Portland Baseball's Joe Etzel Field has undergone some upgrades during the past few years, and now the Pionovi hitting facility has taken on a new look. Built in 2005, the hitting facility recently received brand new turf, which matches the turf at the adjacent Joe Etzel Field. A team room is also being added, which will feature a player's lounge and enhanced teaching areas for the coaches. Assistant baseball coach Jake Valentine says the improvements will greatly benefit the program.
The facility itself is really taken shape, from the donors of the University of Portland baseball team, whether it's alums or just benefactors for the program. The turf that was in here before, I believe, was like 25 years old, so it's kind of like felt on a pool table, if you will. The netting itself had seen better days. As a safety precaution, we had West Coast Netting come out, redid all the nets. West Coast Netting does all the big league netting. They do a lot of the Pac-12 netting as well. Did a great job. So now we have 3 usable tunnels that we can actually pull back and have like a mini infield. They can go live off pitchers in here when the weather doesn't help. And then we've also added cubbies so they can have spikes, bats, everything that DeMarini Wilson has given us. And then as the team room comes together, it's a place where our guys can really spend some time with each other.
Just to have a place where just baseball players can hang out, and I think we've already used it so much, having ping pong tournaments and just chilling in there. You have a spot to do homework and hang out, we were watching World Series games in there, having dinner in there on Thanksgiving. It's just something like a space that brings the team together a lot, which is really cool.
With the recruiting classes coming in, getting better each year, I think this has a lot to do with it. The cages itself is now it's a facility. It's a hitting facility. It's not a barn with a bunch of nets hung up. It's a true hitting facility, and then you have a true team room on top of it. And then when you couple that with the new stadium that will, have a lot of the same looks as the Hillsborough Hop Stadium, it's going to be, top in the Northwest. So we're pretty fired up for the energy and the effort that's gone into where it's at right now and continued going forward.
Both Portland basketball programs are joining the battle to fight cancer. The Portland men will be participating in the annual Coaches vs. Cancer Suits and Sneakers Week, January 22nd through the 28th, and they're taking part in the 3-point challenge. For more information, you can visit portlandpilots.com/challenge. The women will partake in the Play for K free throw challenge, and they're accepting donations for every free throw made in February. Visit portlandpilots.com/play for K for more info or to make a donation. The women's tennis season is here, and while head coach Susie Campbell returns 4 players from last year's lineup, the Pilots feature a young roster with no seniors. Radina Dimitrova is the lone junior on the squad that features 4 freshmen and 3 sophomores. The future appears bright for the Pilots, who are picked 8th in the WCC preseason coaches poll, but Campbell is optimistic that the program will surprise people this year with its young talent.
There's 2 that are going to be impact right away, and that's Rafaela, she's from Montreal, and Luli Ramali, she's from Argentina, and they're both going to be impactful. Another freshman, Nina Nikitovic, is really going to impact in doubles as well. So we have very solid strength in the middle of the lineup and towards the top, and going to be very big impact players in our doubles. There's a lot to watch. It's going to be exciting to see how it all unfolds. So I should really keep a good eye on those freshmen. Matches can be pretty exciting. So please put it on your calendar, look at our schedule, and come out and support your Pilots.
Tonight we begin a new feature on Portside of the Pilots, the Play of the Week, brought to you by Nike. This week the honor goes to men's basketball redshirt freshman Malcolm Porter, who buried a half-court shot to beat the halftime buzzer against Pacific on Saturday night. Porter would go on to score 12 points, just missing a season and career high. Does it for this week's Portside of the Pilots, but you can always reach out to us on social media by using the hashtag Portside. Good night, and we'll see you next week.